Everybody got it?
Yep.
All right. What's it like being a local kid that's kind of developed in this program and now a leader?
It's kind of a dream, watching Holt and CJ, they kind of paved the way for this. But, it's definitely, I like it a lot because I get to stay at home, get to see my parents a lot and my girlfriend. So, I like it. I definitely like it.
Gotta put that girlfriend in.
Yeah.
Bryce, you played all over now, working some at center. Just talk about that, transition back to snapping the ball.
It's definitely a little harder because I haven't been snapping that much. I was originally a guard, then moved to tackle. But, I think center is a little bit easier for me because, I kind of like getting into people. I don't like having all that space. So, I think it's fairly easier for me because I get to block people more, be more aggressive.
Is that your nice way of saying you get to hold a little more on the inside and not get to sink?
Definitely. Keep my hands, a little bit. I can keep them tight, but not as tight because, they are really watching me.
Is it more responsibility as a center because you're calling out the protections?
Yeah, I definitely think so because, I got to make sure everybody knows where we're going, what linebacker to look at. It's definitely a little more on the mind, but physically it's not as hard as I would say as all the other positions.
How important is communication at that position?
Very important. You got to make sure that everybody has the same spot because it's either one spot or everybody's messed up. So we can't have two different spots. We got everybody going different places.
Obviously, you got to communicate with the other linemen, as you mentioned, but also, you and the quarterback have a lot of communication, even maybe if it's not always verbal. How are you just building the chemistry with whoever's behind you back there?
So me and Caden, I kind of have a good relationship off the field. We hang out all the time. Me, Kane, and Carson, we kind of try to stay in the mix with each other. Me and Raheem got in together, so me and him have a good communication as well. I feel like all the quarterbacks do a good job trying to make sure that the O-line is straight before they're going in, just making any calls. So I think we all have a good connection with them.
Is it all tougher that Caden isn't taking a lot of live reps right now?
It's a little tougher, but Raheem is doing a really good job coming in. I think he's been a lot more focused this year and getting the offense down. So I think we'd be pretty good with whoever's back there. But Kane definitely would love to have him in there.
He's had so much of the reps this spring Raheem has. How have you kind of seen him grow, especially with Jake's absence?
I think, Raheem, he's becoming more of a leader. I think, off the field, he's gotten a lot better, just making sure his life is aligned. So I think he's doing really good. I love the steps he's taken. He's becoming a leader in the locker room and on the field.
How much are you snapping outside of practice rounds?
Coach JD has been trying to, get me to make sure my snaps are really good. Before practice, he'll get me in with Caden, snap with a little bit, and then after practice, I'll snap a little bit, depending on if my snaps were bad that day or not. So it just depends on how my day was.
And coming here a few years ago as a local guy, developing to this point, what's kind of made you want to stick it out at ECU and
this is just home for me. I moved here when I was 3. Been here, been a fan, season tickets since 2011, watching everybody come in and out of here. So I feel a bond here. I feel like this is my home, and I just love it here. My parents, everybody was around. So.
How excited are you just for the spring game and get to show off everything you've been working on?
I'm very excited. My last spring game wasn't the best, so I'm ready to get back on some of those people that were kind of bullying me last year. But I'm excited. I think the teams are going to be good. I think we're going to have good energy there, good intensity. Hopefully the fans enjoy it. So it should be a good day.